Okay, welcome back to Podcast the Hero. There's a lot of people here, more than normal. There's also a cat. I didn't realize we allowed cats in here.
I apologize.
It's all right.
I didn't scoop her. She's going to climb my back.
Look at that. There's floofs places. I like floofs. I got a floof of my own. I like cats. I was just kidding. I like cats. I've always had cats.
Very snuggly.
Yeah, I like a little snug. Are you trying to show a snake up there or something? Do you have a snake, Brett?
No, I did. They went too far.
This episode is brought to you as always by our sponsors. Absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress, which is a podcast ranking all the best things, and also Cornbot, the robot made of corns, and it has corn legs and corn hands, but it has human genitals, which is really weird for a robot. But they said, we will not make this robot unless it has human genitalia. So it has human genitals. We're also brought to you by our sponsors, by our patrons, of which we have several here. But I'm going to read the list, and then we'll get to the introductions of the folks that are here with us. But the list, absolutely the best podcast, Work in Progress. Ashwin, Brett. That's Brett. I'm pointing up there where you will be in the episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
I forgot to change my name for 3 weeks. Sorry. I mistook a look-alike in the crowd for Rhodey, and I'm so embarrassed. That's fine. I mistake him. Other people for him all the time. I'll fart test your rat cast. I knee for Dommy Mommies. Oh, I kneel for Dommy Mommies. Okay, I like that. And Steven Exposure, Julia, High Tops, Rob the Anti-Human, Rhodey Loves My Dink, the Fat Brown Kid, Zach, A Common Thread, A Hole of No Context or Consequence. Okay, Single Ingrown Pubic Hair, Dave the Film Guy, Deconomus, Dimitri Timpod, the Picklecast, Sack, Fire Fee, Foolish Bale, Mitch, who I've met multiple times now and never remember that his name is Mitch, Progtoff, Spigoth, Yuri, hello Yuri, Aaron FFJ, Adrian from Baltimore, Allie, Benjamin, Bob, Bud the Crud from the Bright Red Mud, Burrito, Butthole, Butthole, Dale Earnshart. I have a written list of funny names, and this is one of them. Jake, Jeffrey, Yo, Josh, KH Pandas, Mason, Michael, Peggy Thrill, Roscoe, Sebastodon, Sheldon, Source the Odd, suggestion, inspired by BT Bam, PTH should phonetically pronounce their acronym.
I'm all for that.
And it says, parenthetically, Fritzy makes a fart sound, please. Taylor and TBJ, The Final Dan, Thomas, Viva Hate, Yes, I Be a Newfoundlander by Zane, Big Forearms, Bigger Buttholes. So that's everybody in the Patreon. Thank you all, Patreon contributors. Zach, which Zach are you? There's so many Zachs. Are you the first Zach, the second Zach?
I called myself first
Zach?
Zach for a while. I'm Zach Murray on Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it was just my name for a bit, and then there was a second one, and I think there was a third one in there.
I think there's like 6 or 7 Zachs.
I'll claim the first Zach, and whether that's true or not, that's my truth. So
okay, that's your truth, and I think it works. I think you should be proud of that. You be the first Zach. All other Zachs bow before you.
I like it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Brett, welcome back. I think you've been here before. And then Leandra, hello. And Yuri, who's with you?
This is my wife, Esther.
Hi, Esther.
She is not a paying member of the Patreon, so
That's okay.
Oh, get her out of here.
It's like a family subscription. It's like Netflix. It applies to everybody in the household.
Yeah.
Are you knitting something cool?
Crocheting. Yeah. I'm crocheting.
Looks
a
like
sweater.
crochet.
Yeah.
Same diff. It's all the same thing.
It's very different.
Sewing, knitting, crocheting, darning. It's all the same.
I think enthusiasts will disagree with you there.
It's all
They're,
just
they're
yarn.
passionate about it.
I'll just
If you can go to the yarn barn and do it, it's all the same thing. Do you guys have yarn barn where you are? Is that a thing? Yeah. Okay.
It sounds great.
Where are folks from? I'm from the Detroit metropolitan area. I tell a lot of people I'm from Detroit, but I don't live in Detroit, and I've never lived in Detroit because I'm not nuts. Now, that is not to say that Detroit hasn't gotten massively better in the time that I've lived in this state and in this area. Detroit has come a long way, and I would live in Detroit now. Like, I wouldn't have an issue living in Detroit anymore. But I think there's like this thing, you know, like when you're like the distance between where you're from and where you are talking to a person determines like how far away from the biggest city you can say you're from and still say you're from that city. So like if I'm in Michigan, I don't tell people I'm from Detroit. Right? But if I'm in Canada, maybe not Windsor, you know what I mean? But like if I'm in Toronto and people are like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Detroit. You know what I mean? Or if I'm on the West Coast and people are like, where are you? I'm in Detroit. So yeah. But I'm not trying to, I never try to rep that like I live in Detroit. I live in the suburbs. I'm a middle-aged suburban white man with all the privileges and heart disease that implies. How about you guys? Brett, where are you ish? I don't need to know your address. Don't dox yourself.
No,
but like,
the
what
exact
part
same
of the
thing
world
from
do you live in?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, that's right.
Yeah.
I like Pittsburgh. I like it very much.
That's the exact. I'm probably the same distance from where you're at to Detroit for me to Pittsburgh because you just matched exactly what I would have said, just with the black and gold flavoring.
Yep. Zach, are you in America?
No, I'll going off your initial statement. I'll just say Toronto.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Suburban, the Toronto metropolitan area.
I'm close to Whitby, Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not far from Whitby. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that considered like what do they call that? Is it like the Durham?
That's Durham. Yeah, that's our Durham.
Yeah.
So being part of the Durham subreddit, we get a lot of Durham.
People from
is it North Carolina?
One of the Carolinas.
Yeah, we get a lot of people. You know, there was a post the other day about a missing dog. You were in the wrong sub. We hope you find it, but you're in the wrong sub.
And then Yuri, you guys are
we're in the UK.
In the US, in
United Kingdom.
You're in the UK?
Yeah, so the 2 p.m. Eastern time start
Nuh-uh.
is so great. I appreciate that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that was like why I wanted to do it. Like you know, people had said in the past when we did these things that like the 9 p.m. 9:30 p.m. start time on a Thursday night is pretty tough for everybody to, you know, be able to do. And so I thought, let's do it on a Saturday afternoon and see who else can come and hang out. Leandra, I already know where
I'm
you're
from Lincoln, Nebraska.
From
Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska, home of the Lincoln Continental.
Is it?
No, probably not. Is it?
No.
Was Abraham Lincoln born there?
I think he was.
I don't know.
I think
why
he
it's
was
called
born
Lincoln
in
anymore.
Illinois. I could be wrong, but because they call Illinois the land of Lincoln, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still true anymore. I don't think they actually take money in the toll booths on the Illinois tollway. anymore, but it used to be the only place you could put a penny
Oh,
in the toll booth. And like the basket, you could throw your change
I didn't
in the
know
little
that.
basket at the toll booth because Lincoln was on the penny. Okay, so Cheese isn't here. I don't know if he's not going to be here. I sold this as he was going to be here because he said he was going to be here. And I texted him yesterday and gave him all the information, and he said he was going to be here. And I texted him again, and I haven't heard from him. So he might show up or he might not. I know I asked everybody to come with questions. If he doesn't arrive, then I'll just answer those questions as if I were him.
Perfect. That's
So
exactly.
you ask me,
That's
and
better.
I will just answer on his behalf because there is a theory that's going around the Discord that Rhodey is just me in a Rhodey suit and I am just Rhodey in a me suit, and that we've never been in the same place at the same time. I know I've met him, I think, but
Somebody's feet was shown at
Yeah.
some point.
yeah,
I know it. I've seen it.
yeah. And also, like, do you think the dude from Fight Club like had an awareness? It probably not until the very end that Tyler Durden was him. You know what I mean? Like, I think he literally saw Tyler Durden everywhere.
Mhm.
So, like, we wouldn't realize that we're the same person. It would be really fucked up if I was sitting here right now, like, just doing this and blah, 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 blah. But really, I was also, like, in Denver getting ready for a show tomorrow. I don't know. That's too scary. Okay. I do want to start by asking you guys some questions, which is, has anyone, Leandra, I know you have, has anybody else seen the band on their current tour? Been to a show?
Yes.
Zach, you did.
Of the show.
Yeah. I was at Tilsonburg
Oh, you were at Tilsonburg. That's
all
right.
3 nights. Yeah. I was sitting
Yep.
right in front of you for the acoustic show, sitting beside Julia, I want to say her name was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. That was great.
Wild.
That was a great
That was
time.
really wild. That episode will come out. I don't know, in the next couple weeks, depending on how the schedule goes. But for those of you listening that don't know, we recorded the acoustic set in Tilsonburg as an episode of the podcast and sort of hosted it that way. And so we'll be releasing it on as an episode on YouTube and all your podcast things. So you can hear some live music as well, because Tim performed some of his Temerity stuff, and then Protest performed some acoustic stuff, and we played a game, and we did gifts, and we did the whole shebang. So that was really cool.
Yes.
Oh, it's a floof. Look at that.
Pretty kitty.
Tim also
That's,
shared some info about the piano bits from Fortress.
Yeah, a lot of storytelling.
Keziah. That was cool. I've never heard any of that stuff before, so that was good.
Yeah, that's something that we want to do this more, right? And sort of try and take the podcast on the road a little bit, where it makes sense. And so we'll try to do that for sure. I think more because it's fun and it's like it's live. You get all kinds of different participation. Luke was there in the audience, and we got to. You probably will hear some of Luke yelling in the audience, and got a lot of great stories from Rhodey and stuff.
Awesome.
So it was really good. So Zach saw all 3 nights at Tilsonburg. Brett, they haven't come out east yet.
2 weeks.
They're not coming to the UK. Leandra,
Yes.
you saw them in Omaha.
I thought it was great.
I saw them in Tilsonburg. I saw them in Grand Rapids. I did last week. We did an episode with Guitarzan Mike, the Lord Guitar Horse, who's a friend of the podcast, friend of mine. Went to the show with him in Grand Rapids. He sat in a room lit by daylight, and it got dark. And it's really funny. Like, he just gets darker and darker through the episode until his screen is pitch black. It's great if you haven't seen it. It's like Marty McFly disappearing out of the photograph in Back to the Future. But like, I had never seen Protest open for anyone. First of all, that's the best. To me, it's the best because if I don't care about who's playing last, I get to see the band I want to see, and then I can be in bed by a reasonable hour. I've done that at many shows, some to my regret. I went to a show to see Eagles of Death Metal open for Mastodon. And I hadn't become a Mastodon fan yet by that point. And I went and saw Eagles of Death Metal and went, that was cool. I don't know Mastodon. My wife was with me. She doesn't like heavy music that well. And so I was like, you want to just jet? And she was like, sure. And we left. And I missed Mastodon at a small club in Royal Oak. And that was a very dumb move on my part. But, you know, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Interested to hear your guys' thoughts on the shows. Those of you that Zach and Leandra, what you thought about 40-minute Protest set. The show's opening for BT Bam is a slightly different set than what they played at Tilsonburg. A little bit shorter. But both of you got to hear the new song. What did you think?
Oh,
Do you want to go ahead?
yeah, I
Leandra?
really liked it a lot. It was hard to make out most of the lyrics, but I really enjoyed what I did hear. There's a lot of good riffs and amazing drumming and everything. So,
Yeah, I also really liked it. They on the BT Bam set, they're not playing. This is spoiler, so if Brett, if you don't want to know, you could take your headphones off. They're not playing Mist on this set, but I really think Fishhook musically, like from a sort of vibe perspective of what it is, actually kind of fits well in that spot. It's got more of a major feel to it. It's got more of a sort of a upbeat kind of positive, you know, it's got that sort of major feel to it. And I feel like it fits in that slot really good. Like you could put Fishhook in there and take Mist out and go, oh yeah, I don't lose any of that vibe.
Yeah. There's a lot of chord work, which was fun to see. Like it's a lot of strumming and not so much noodly, which is great. It's great to hear. It's a nice. It's always fun hearing that evolution that happens when they put out something new.
Yeah, it's a much more sort of punk rock vibe to it. Yeah, it's good. I like it, and then Rhodey does a great job storytelling about it. I wish he was doing the like what does he call it when you just release it, just the banter. When he did that, because the story he tells about
we didn't get that story in Omaha, so
about his neighbors. It's so good.
It was good.
Yeah, it's like and in Grand Rapids, he's like some guy in, I think, Baltimore, maybe, like the first night. So Rhodey's talking about like the guy who lives across the street from you when you buy your first house, and it's like, hey, the trick to getting your lawn perfect is like you got to get up at 6 a.m. and you got to mow at 6 a.m. Like don't worry about seeding, don't worry about fertilizer. The key is mowing at 6 a.m. Like that guy, he's your grass daddy. He's the guy that teaches you. And then in Baltimore, somebody's like, he's your father-in-law. And Rhodey just fucking loved that. So like that's, Fishhook is essentially, you know, how Rhodey tends to do with his lyrics. It's like metaphor within a metaphor. And so he's got this sort of metaphor couched in the relationship between him and his current neighbor and him and his previous neighbor. So anyway, it's it's good. Leandra, did you stay for
I
BT Bam?
was with my friend and my boyfriend, and we left since we're not really a huge fan of that band. I mean, they're all right, but they're just not our vibe. And I dragged him out to see Protest, so that's what we saw.
It was a lot of BT Bam. They played 2 albums back to back. They took like a little 5-minute break. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
The merch on this tour also is top notch. Like their shirts, they got a bunch of shirts out right now.
We didn't get that Canada Goose shirt at Tilsonburg.
No,
we did not. Yeah, I saw that the next day. I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, there's a bunch of I think they sent a lot of the merch ahead because they were doing everything in the US, and so all the stuff got sent ahead, and they just had a handful of stuff to take to Tilsonburg. But I don't know this for a fact, and I don't know if Rhodey would back this up or not. But we know they're working on a new record, right? There is without a doubt going to be a headlining tour supporting that record, whether that's in Canada or US, I don't know, but I would fully suspect there to be a headlining tour in support of that record. And I would venture to say that on that tour, all that merch would be available,
oh yeah.
But yeah, their merch game right now is super strong. BT Bam, I don't know how they do it, because two albums back to back, and they didn't there was one bit at the beginning of the show in Grand Rapids where Tommy said this is a song about a kid who used to pick on me, blah 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 blah. That was the only thing he said the entire show. They literally just played every song just back to back to back to back to back. They played the whole record and then took a 5-minute break, played everything except the last song on Alaska, took a break, came out, played the last song on Alaska, done, no talking, no nothing, just played for 2+ hours. And I don't know how the fuck they did that. That is an insane amount of
that's wild
fucking stamina to be able to do that. Right?
They did Colors 2 last year. Saw them in Canada, Toronto, and it was it's insane. They don't chit chat. They don't make jokes. They just say hello, and they break into it, and they go for an hour and 15 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Rhodey's favorite part of the show is the fucking chit chat.
Yeah.
By far. He loves a 40-minute set, he's that's perfect for me. I get up there, knock it out, get done, go have a beer, watch a hockey game. It was perfect. So yeah, I mean, I think so far so good. They sounded excellent. Musically, they have never sounded better, as a touring group. So yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool. What? I think somebody said something, or is that just me hearing something?
It's the Tyler Durden coming back.
Is there somebody
hearing the voices again?
Yeah. Okay. So still no cheese. So I think I had you guys prep some questions if you had questions for Cheese. And since he's not here, I will answer those questions for him. So who has one? And I'll go and I'll say what I think he will say.
I have one that I think you could answer.
Oh, God.
I had chat GPT kind of helped me just configure a good question. Like, what would you ask a front man? What would you ask somebody in a metal band? And gave it some parameters, and it came up with this for a synopsis of Rhodey. Rhodey is renowned for his expansive vocal range and his ability to infuse humor and theatricality into his performances. Beyond his musical endeavors, he identifies as a father, husband, and self-proclaimed idiot, showcasing his down-to-earth personality. My question is, can I use that for myself? Because that kind of covers the bases.
Can you use that for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
That's
you could be him. Do you want to be?
Well, I just wanted to say in my bios that it's self-proclaimed and then also Rhodey Walker proclaimed.
Yeah. Rhodey, you could say Rhodey Walker proclaimed Brett Boss Blackwood
and Fritz
an idiot.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I think you could definitely use that. I honestly think like we had what's a guy? We had a guy on the show, and I feel terrible for forgetting his name. He's also from the UK. He's a drummer, Calvin Smith of the Safety Fire. It took me a minute. To get there, but Calvin Smith from the Safety Fire was on, and he does stand up. Like he goes out and does stand up comedy. And I honestly think Rhodey would really have a good time doing stand up.
I think he would too.
I really
Does
do.
he think that's what the sets are each night? Like it's stand up and then the band interrupts them with songs?
Yeah, I mean, essentially. But like he also, like, he's funny, right? Rhodey's a funny guy, but he's also off the cuff funny, right? He's very funny in reacting to stuff off the cuff. Like I wonder, could he put together like a 10 minutes of material that is, I mean, I'm sure he could, you know what I mean? But like, there's a difference between being like off the cuff funny and like preparing a stand-up set. But I think he could do it. And I think he should do it. Mm-hmm. Because I think he gets the most joy in life in making other people laugh. I think that's what brings him the most joy. I get the most joy from setting him up to make other people laugh. So I mean, I think he could do it. I think he would be very good at it. The other thing I think he should do is musical theater. I think he would have fun doing musical theater. He loves musical theater, right? He loves like Les Mis and stuff like that. I think he should do like community theater, you know, like the Whitby Repertory Theater presents, you know, Rent with Rhodey Walker, and Rhodey just like, you know, do a musical. Like I think that would be fun. I think he could do it, and I think he would have fun doing it.
Like that.
Don't let me cut you off.
Speak. No, I just said I like that. I think that's a good like take on him because he does. You can see the wheels spinning a lot of the time.
Oh yeah,
for different reasons. Sometimes going nowhere, but then sometimes randomly catching traction. And then if you're in the line of fire, you are screwed because he's going to run you over.
Yeah,
and then get to his point.
It's the best. It's the best. Like, there's nothing better than being in his line of fire. And like the other great thing about it is like he also like I've seen a lot of stories about this, and I've also experienced it in my personal relationship with him. Like he'll rip somebody up, you know what I mean? Like somebody's out there wearing a fucking Boston Bruins jersey at a show, and he'll just like destroy them, and then he'll find them after the show and buy them a beer. You know what I mean? Like he will like he'll say things like he'll bag on me about stuff, and then he was like, dude, I'm just like, he kind of feels bad afterwards, and he'll like, because he's just having fun, and so like I that's also like a super endearing part of him, is that like he'll go after you, but then he'll buy you a beer after. It's sort of like that, that sort of hockey mentality, like two dudes will drop the gloves on the ice and then pound the shit out of each other and then have a beer together afterwards.
Yeah, at the Omaha. At the Omaha's show, there was someone wearing a Jets jersey, and he pretty much ripped him apart. And I think they said they came from Winnipeg to see him. And me being from Nebraska, I'm just like, why did you come to Nebraska? Like,
right?
It's funny to me.
I mean, I think that might be the closest spot,
maybe,
right? Like from Winnipeg.
Unless they went to like Minnesota. I don't remember if they're going.
Yeah, I don't think they did, or at least not at this part of the tour.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because, Winnipeg is essentially just.
That's where Propagandy's from, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, right? So. Yeah. Or like Portage La Prairie down the road. You know what I mean? It's that thing we talked about earlier. Like how far away are you from Winnipeg when you're telling people where you're from, right? Because I think Chris is from Portage La Prairie, which is like just west of Winnipeg. But like when you're in, far away from Winnipeg, you just say I'm from Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, I think it's essentially Winnipeg. And Winnipeg is like southern Manitoba is just like North Dakota and Minnesota. It might as well just be the same, except it's different. And there should be is there a road? There is. You can take 75. 29 turns in. Yeah, you can just drive straight up from like Fargo straight up to Winnipeg. That's good. I've never been to Winnipeg. I would like to go and see it. I'd like to go to all the big cities.
Yeah, me too.
I've only been to
going on
2, I guess. There's not?
No, I think it's just Toronto. If you're coming to Canada, there's Toronto and Toronto.
I guess there's.
I'd like to go to Montreal. I'd like to go to. I've been to Edmonton. I'd like to go to Calgary.
Edmonton rocks.
I don't know. I really, really badly want to go see St. John, Newfoundland. If I could figure out a way, Propagandy's playing in St. John.
St.
John? At the Rock House.
Or St. John.
And I fucking, St. John, Newfoundland? Is it St. John or St. John's?
St. John's is New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Or it's the other way around. It's
Yeah. St. John's is Newfoundland and St. John is New Brunswick, right? I don't know. Whatever. The one in Newfoundland I want to go to and see Propagandy.
Let me guess.
Which, if you are a Propagandy fan, tickets on sale right now on their website for Canadian shows coming up in September. I got my tickets for the Toronto show yesterday.
I'm guessing work would keep you from going to Newfoundland.
I don't know. If I can make it, if I can swing it, I would do it, because that would be bonkers to go hang out there and see them. Okay. Anybody else have a question that they want to ask Rody?
I have a million questions.
I have a couple. Yeah. I have a couple. Do you want them in a batch, or do you want to do one?
Let's just go one, and then we'll kind of go around.
Okay. So first one, just based off watching the podcast, how do you guys not overlap or cut each other off while you're filming? I feel like the typical work meeting I have, and everyone ends up cutting each other off, but you guys seem to have, I don't know if it's just patience or you just are reserved and waiting to speak, but it always sounds so good. You guys rarely cut into each other speaking. Maybe I'm just bad at speaking.
Practice. It takes practice because we did it. We talked over each other a lot at the beginning. So it's just practice and learning each other's cadences and like how we speak and sort of understanding. Like now I'm at the point where I know like he's winding up a thought and there will be an opportunity for me to respond. And I think vice versa. So it really is just practice between two people. I have the same issue in meetings at work where people just talk over each other and it's nonstop. And I think that's, I think it's because just there's not the familiarity there. Even though you work with people, like a lot of times a meeting is various, like the audience or the participants change. You know what I mean? From meeting to meeting. Whereas with Rhodey and I, like you get an hour of us or an hour and a half or however long these things end up being. But that's usually 2 or 3 hours of us talking. That's not to say that we do any editing. I edit very little of the podcast. It's just that we spend a lot of time shooting the shit beforehand. And then when we finish, we end up talking for another hour about meaningless bullshit, hockey, social media, whatever, and just hang out because we're buddies and we hang out. So we just have gotten used to that. The other thing that's really weird is when we get on here, the way we talk to each other changes. And it's like we instantly go into podcast mode where the way we talk to each other is very different. And it takes a minute, like after the end of the episode, for us to like fall out of podcast mode and into just sort of normal conversation. It's very weird, but it slowly happens over a few minutes at the end. And then we're kind of just into our normal thing. And then it's real weird when we're in person together because like, I don't know what it is, like this medium or whatever, like we definitely have this sort of, like we go into our podcast mode where we talk the way we do for the podcast. And then when we're in person, we're like, I don't know if it's just me. I think it's probably just me that I'm just like super awkward about it. Like I don't have the safety of a screen and knowing that like if I say something super dumb or like something that makes me super self-conscious that I can go back and cut it out afterwards. But then like I'll be sitting there. I don't know. It was weird. We were sitting backstage at Grand Rapids and we were just hanging out and Rhodey's sitting in a chair like 2 feet from his laptop screen watching the Leafs game. And it goes to intermission. And I'm like sitting on a couch on one side and it goes to intermission. He kind of turns around and I'm wearing a pair of shorts and I'm sitting with my leg crossed over my leg like this. And so like my bare leg, oh, look, feet. My bare leg is right here. And he just sort of reaches over and rubs my leg and looks at me and goes, yeah. And I was just like, what the fuck was that? And I think it was, I don't know. It was either I have very light, like hair on my legs. Like it's very blonde and very like, so it looks like I don't have much hair on my legs. Like, and so like, it's very fine. And like just wearing a pair of jeans will just rub the hair right off my legs. And so I don't know if he was going like, do you shave your legs? I'm just going to like feel to tell if you shaved your legs. Or if it was like I have a big scar on my leg and I don't know if he was like just checking out the scar on my leg or whatever, but like there was no like, oh, this is why I did this. There was no like, it was just like he did it and then he went, eh. And then just turned back to the like it's so fucking weird.
Like you also have a question for Rhodey.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, I mean that's sort of like how our relationship is, and it's yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just feel super awkward, and like I also have the Rhodey and I have been friends for like almost 5 years. I still have the this isn't real. None of this is real. This is all just like, I don't know, like some sort of weird fever dream, and it will all disappear like that. And I'm just going to go back to being who I was before all of this. And so I have like, it feels a little surreal for me to like be hanging out with somebody who, for years before I was just like a fan of, it's just, I don't know. It's weird. So that's a good question though. Yeah. I think it is practice because I know we talked about it very early on, where we're like, we got to figure out how to stop talking over each other so much. So yeah, I think it is just practice.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. Leandra, did you have a question for Rhodey? Mind you, these are all Rhodey's answers, not mine.
Well, I really enjoy all the song analysis episodes, so I'm hoping that there can be more on Scurrilous, because there's quite a few songs on there, I believe, that you haven't gotten to yet, and just song analysis in general, but especially Scurrilous tracks.
So I think, yes, the best part about doing a podcast with a band is that as long as there are songs that we haven't done a deep dive on, there's always an episode we can do. Right. We've also done inadvertently, we've done Hair Trigger twice. We didn't mean to, but we have. So that will happen, I'm sure. But yeah, the other thing is like really try for the most part to focus on the songs where Rhodey did the lyrics. Because like the stuff that RF wrote, Rhodey might have a little bit of an idea, but he definitely wasn't in RF's head when RF was writing those lyrics. And it wasn't like RF sat down and went, here are the lyrics to the song, and here's all the background of like how I came to this and what, he just basically wrote the lyrics and said, here you go. So try to really stick to the stuff that Rhodey wrote. Just because he will have more insight into those. We've tried some of the ones that RF did, and a lot of it's like, man, I don't know. I'd have to ask RF. Yeah.
To be fair to the
I think it would be awesome to get Riffy on, right, to talk about stuff like that. So maybe one day I can't. Rhodey has to be the one to facilitate that. So, but maybe one day. I don't think we've ruled it out.
Which songs did he write on Scurrilous, if you know?
I'd have to pull it up. It's about 50-50 between the two of them. They sort of split it up 50-50 on Scurrilous. And then everything before Scurrilous was riffy. Keziah and Fortress. I think if you went back to Calculated Use of Sound, like some of that was definitely Rhodey. Yuri, did you have a question that you had prepared for Rhodey?
Yeah, that's why my wife is here. She has a question.
I have a pressing question.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to know, what is your favorite Taylor Swift era?
I think I know that. Hang on. Rhodey really liked, hang on, Taylor Swift. I'm pulling it up because I'm pretty sure I know which record is like his favorite one.
There's no bad one.
Discography. Like is it like? I feel like it's like the 1989
Okay, yeah.
era. I'm pretty sure.
That's the
It
pop-
might be, but it might be Speak Now.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, that's one of the older eras.
Maybe.
Third.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people really love like the folklore time frame for that. My favorite, I like really old Taylor Swift. I like the Taylor Swift that was Girl Dashboard Confessional, which is like the first two records, like
Yeah.
Fearless and I think the self-titled.
Yeah, baby.
That's essentially, she was just essentially Girl Dashboard Confessional at that point, and I was fucking all for that. And then it got a little too poppy for my taste, but I think Rhodey likes the poppy stuff too. I think Rhodey, if you had to ask, like, I would say he likes all of it.
Yep.
Like, I don't think there's, and I think I like all of it. Like, I don't think there's anything where I'm like, no, I don't like any of this Taylor Swift stuff. But yeah.
Disagree.
But because that's a question I can't answer
Mm.
for him, I will ask him, make sure I ask him and get you a
Okay.
response.
I look forward to it. And seeing if you're accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think it's Speak Now. I do. I don't know what. He talks about it in Sharks Fly, I think.
Yeah, I think that's how she learned that Rhodey was into Taylor Swift, because I was listening to that and she said, "Hey."
Yeah. Are you a big Swiftie?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely
I love
like
Taylor
the
Swift.
folklore and later kind of vibe. But I think I've enjoyed all of the albums
Yeah.
of my life kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing that I think is culturally important about Taylor Swift is she's sort of the last superstar. But she's also the biggest superstar that there has ever been. Right?
Yes.
Taylor Swift is like, Michael Jackson was the king of pop. Taylor Swift is way bigger than Michael Jackson ever was. Like, Taylor Swift is, and I lived through like the height of Michael Jackson. I lived through the height of Whitney Houston. I lived through the height of like the big pop music acts that were like considered like the biggest of all time. You know, these huge stadium tours around the world and all this stuff. Taylor Swift eclipses all of them. She is the biggest superstar that the world has ever seen. And it's, I feel like, thank God that it's her, because like her personality and all of that stuff makes her, I think, has a lot to do with why she's such a huge superstar, but also like, thank God she doesn't suck. You know what I mean? As a person,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think that's like the biggest and best thing is like, we have this huge superstar and she doesn't suck that bad as a person.
Or try to go to space. Thank God.
Right? Yeah. I do have some high expectations for Taylor. I think Taylor should be doing a lot more publicly to get rid of her money.
I agree.
She should be doing a lot more to like what I would love to see is Taylor Swift saying, I understand I'm a billionaire. I don't believe there should be billionaires, and here's what I'm going to do to ensure that I am no longer a billionaire. Right? That's what I want to see from her.
Yeah.
Because we don't see that from other billionaires, right? We're not seeing that from people not that are in those positions, are not taking the social and moral responsibility that comes along with that. And so, you know, of all the people that are in a position to do it, I feel like she's the best equipped.
Or the billionaires that lose all of their, or give away all of their money, end up being crappier people as well. So then,
Yeah. I mean, like,
J.K. Rowling.
like what's it? Who's the dude? The Berkshire Hathaway dude. You know who I'm talking about?
Is it the one from Nebraska? Oh my gosh, I should know,
Yeah,
but I
what's
can't
his
remember
name?
right now.
Hang on.
Dividend?
Yeah, that's the one.
Warren Buffett.
Oh,
Warren Buffett is like, I'm going to give away all my billions. And it's like, well, great. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to give it all to Bill
Yeah,
Gates.
I know, right?
Fucking serious, dude? Like, okay. Just billionaires giving money to other billionaires.
It sucks.
It's just
He's a friend in need.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, also being a fan of Patrick Kane, I wish she would have ended up with Patrick Kane and not Travis Kelce, because I fucking hate the Chiefs. When Patrick Kane was a young rookie in hockey, he met Taylor Swift, and his coach was like, get on the bus. You know, he didn't want his players messing around with the cute girls and stuff after games and stuff. And he was like, Coach, you know who that was? That was Taylor Swift. That would have been a much happier, to me, love story. Would be Patrick Kane and Taylor Swift, but that's
I
fine.
wonder if she's conflicted as well because she's a public Eagles fan, not Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah, Chiefs. Oh, I hate the Chiefs so much.
Less games.
Okay, back. Brett, do you have another one, or are you good?
Why, if you are Rhodey and answering this, why do you have the same birthday as my dad?
Well, because I am your dad.
That was my follow-up. Are you? Okay.
Yeah. I went out for cigarettes that one day and just never came back. Sorry.
That makes sense.
Oh, I'm not all that
Newports?
sorry. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Does that sound like Dad?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna digress. Teed that one up and hit it, and the volley was great.
I mean, I feel like that would have been his answer, right? Like that's what he would have said.
I think so. Yeah.
Zach, how about you? You got another one for me?
I do, yeah. I'm going to skip over one and ask this one. Who did the theme song for the podcast, and how did it come to be? Because for the first 4 episodes, I was just like, "Oh, this is great," and then it clicked one day that it was Underbite.
Yeah. So
how did that happen?
So, I guess technically, Luke is the writer of Underbite, so he gets all the credit. But Rhodey hooked me up, or I guess Luke hooked me up with a license for Guitar Pro, and I don't know if you guys are aware of how Protest, essentially how Sheet Happens functions, right? They do all the tab books and everything, and Guitar Pro is the way they make that happen. And then after having used Guitar Pro for that purpose, discovered the wonder that is Guitar Pro in terms of songwriting. And so they compose all the stuff in Guitar Pro first and then actually learn to play it after it's been composed in Guitar Pro. And I was starting a thing on my Twitch that I thought was going to be beneficial to me, which was help me become a better guitar player. You have another floof? How many floofs? There's 3 floofs. Which was to do something I called slow test the hero, where I would pick a protest song, put it at 20% speed, and see if I could learn it. And so I bought the guitar profiles for Volition. And so even at 20% speed, I can barely keep up. I'm not a very good guitar player, especially in terms of playing arpeggios and shit like that. Oh, look at that floofy.
He's a ragdoll.
I know, it's just that's
Her
a
name's
really
Princess.
beautiful cat.
Beautiful cat.
Oh, now she's
She
getting
looks
up.
like it. She's like, I'm mad. So having the guitar profiles, you can you can export the tracks as MIDI. So I just took Underbite, which I thought, the beginning of Underbite is how you fucking doing tonight. I thought that sounds like a good intro to start a podcast with, like, how you fucking doing tonight. And so I took the MIDI file of the guitar parts and I put them into Logic and slowed it way down and put some MIDI instruments on it. But it is just Underbite slowed way down. It's only like the very beginning. Like it's a 53-second intro song and it covers like maybe 10 seconds of the song.
Yeah.
It's just like the very beginning. And it's like Rhodey's first phrase. And I essentially had to just sit with Underbite on and transcribe on a keyboard Rhodey's melody part as MIDI on top of the already existing MIDI guitar parts, and then just threw like a very basic MIDI drum thing under it, and that's where it came from. So
Sweet.
Yeah, it's just Underbite slowed way down with I don't even know what instruments that replace the guitars, and yeah, it's just all MIDI.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've got all the guitar profiles, but
yeah, you can do
slow it down and see what I can come up with.
Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. It's kind of fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. Leandra, you're next. Do you have another one?
I was going to ask him what he thought about Omaha and if he had any stories about my state.
It's desolate. It's flat. There's nothing but wheat and corn.
It's actually
everywhere.
very hilly because it's by the river.
The coffee is
Probably
mid at best. Yeah. I mean, I think that's it. Like, there's not. I mean, Omaha only has the one stoplight. So, like, when you drive through downtown Omaha, it's just abandoned building after abandoned building. I mean, it's Nebraska.
I think you'd be very.
I mean, there's the baseball.
I think you'd be very
there's the baseball
shocked.
Stadium. There's a baseball
I
stadium.
think you'd be very shocked because there's a.
Omaha is a normal city. It is a normal sort of biggish American city. Yeah. It has all the things that a normal American city has.
Have you been to the zoo?
I haven't spent a ton of time there. No.
I think so.
Do they have red pandas?
Yes, you do.
Well, then I have to come to the zoo.
Ours does.
Also,
We have those in Toronto. They're adorable.
We went to the Toledo Zoo, and I got to feed red pandas. It was one of the highlights of my entire life.
we have them at the Lincoln Zoo too.
Yeah, I love red pandas so much. I love them so much. I just want to be best friends with them. I've said this many times. If I won the lottery, I would abandon my life. I would open a red panda preserve and rescue. I would hire the best vets and scientists in the world to come and work to preserve and save red pandas. And I would just live there amongst them and live my life amongst the red pandas while all of these professionals, I'm not a vet, I'm not a professional, I can't help these animals in any way, but I would hire all the people to help them, and then I would just live there and get to live amongst them and be friends with them. That would be my life. Jenny could
call it
go.
the Red Panda Cross? Would you
Would
call
I-
it Red Panda Cross?
Sure.
Red Panda Cross.
I don't know what I would call it. I would just
That's
call
good.
it Fritzy's House of Pandas. And I would just live in there, and I would go to bed and they would just pile on top of me. There would just be a pile of red pandas to keep me warm at
That'd
night.
be awesome.
I was going to say Red Panda Express, but that doesn't sound.
Oh,
That sounds like
now
not
I
a
want to go.
reserve.
I want to go eat that for dinner. Love Panda Express. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I think he would say that Omaha was great and the people were super great. I think that's what he would say.
But I didn't get to meet him, so my disappointment is immeasurable.
I mean,
I saw a look-alike,
sorta
and that
did.
was so embarrassing.
That's close enough. Close enough. You're really not missing out on
Yes.
much. You got to meet Hank. But
I didn't get Mushy's hug that he wanted from Hank either.
It's all right. It's all right. Mushy doesn't deserve all that many hugs. Let's be honest. He's too
Hank
big.
is such a nice person. Oh my!
Isn't he? Isn't he just the sweetest man?
He was talking to me and a couple other guys after the first night of the Tilsonburg show, and we were talking about the Dingwall bases.
Mm-hmm.
And he put his drink down and went and grabbed the base and brought it over and let us mess around with her for a couple minutes. Like, just so nice. What a nice guy. Not that they're all not nice guys, but that was cool of him.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome getting to meet him.
I just got a text from Cheese. He goes, I go, are you still good for today? He goes, yeah, what time? I said, we already started.
It's not too late.
No, it's not. He can jump on at any time. Yuri, did you guys have another one? Hopefully he'll jump on and we'll get an answer to the T-Swift question and the Omaha question.
Yeah, but I've got another question that you can answer, Fritz.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so the average male gorilla is roughly like 400 pounds.
Oh, God.
And so let's say that you were going to fight a gorilla, and for every pound that the gorilla has, you get $1,000. So now, how much do you shrink the gorilla before you are confident that you can win?
Okay. Can I... so, like, if, let's say I fought the gorilla at 3,500 pounds. Were there 400 pounds or 4,000 pounds?
400.
So if I fought the gorilla and it's 350, I get $35,000.
350,000.
Something like that. $350,000.
Yeah, so you could get like 400 to 500K max.
5 pounds. I'll take $5,000 and fight a 5-pound gorilla.
That's the $31.
Look, here's my problem. My shoulders no longer function. I would not be able to punch a gorilla of any size. So now we're relying completely on kicks. Right? I'd have to kick the gorilla because I can't hit this gorilla. I just this is all messed up. So now I got to fight this gorilla just with my feet. Now I have big feet. But I think I would be best served to just stomp the gorilla. I wasn't very good at soccer. I probably, if I tried to give it a good kick, I would fall down, off balance, something. So yeah, I think 5 pounds, I could maybe corner the gorilla and just smush it with my foot. If I could go smaller, 1 pound gorilla. That's essentially a couple cheeseburgers size gorilla. I wonder if I could eat a 1 pound gorilla. Could I go even smaller? Could I say for $500 I'd take a half-pound gorilla? $500 I could fight a half-pound gorilla and I would just eat it. That's how I would beat the half-pound. That's it. That's the answer. Half-pound gorilla, barbecue sauce.
So that would be a real tiny gorilla.
I think that's how I would do it. Yeah, I mean, just it's like it's a double quarter pounder with cheese. I could do that.
Sounds about right.
I can do that. That is a really great question, by the way.
Thank you.
So there's an experience I had in Tilsonburg, actually. So the guy who is driving for the band, the guy named Woj, great dude, sang Blood Meat on stage with Rhodey. I don't know what show it was on this tour, but like got up on stage and was like singing Blood Meat with Rhodey. It was pretty cool. Great dude, and he's tall, and we both like they were like, well, you guys need to stand back to back to see who's taller because I'm tall, and so we went back to back, and we're pretty close, but I think he's a little bit taller than me, and he was like, yeah, I would have said that you were taller than me, and I said I meet people who are definitely shorter than me that I feel are taller than me all the time. Like I have there's something about the way I see other people and how I see myself that makes me feel much smaller than I actually am. I don't know what that is. My therapist probably could do some work with me on that. But I really do think like, even if I had twice the size of a gorilla, right? Like if a gorilla was half my size, I still think that gorilla would probably look bigger than me and be able to kill the hell out of me. So I think like to feel really confident that I wouldn't be dead at the hands it would have to be really small. And then, but then if there was a 1/2 pound gorilla, do you know how cute a 1/2 pound gorilla would be? I would have a really hard time killing that cute little tiny gorilla. Oh, this is a no win. This is no. Can I not play?
Yeah, I feel bad.
Can I?
I didn't know you were going to bring it down to 1/2 pound, man.
It's so cute. This little 1/2 pound gorilla. Like I would want to be best friends with it, I think.
No, you can just keep it.
That's fine. That is a really great question, though. I really like it. Okay. Where were we? I think we're back to Brett. I'm gonna keep track of these things to see if he joins.
I don't really have anything.
Okay.
Other than asking him.
I mean, we've been going an hour.
His card.
What is that? Rhodey's card.
Because then I would have been right regardless.
Is this your card?
Yeah, that was okay.
I like it. That's very good. And then gorilla test. Okay. We'll see. And then we'll have these all prepped and we can just fire through them and then let him get back to his life if he's able to jump on. I think it's a time zone thing. I think when I told him 2:00 Eastern, he was like 2:00, perfect. And didn't. There he is. What do you got there, Cheese?
I got oatmeal.
Well, what kind of oatmeal? Just plain?
Just plain.
We got some questions for you, bud.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Yuri, do you guys want to do your T-Swift question? We'll start there.
I wanted to know what your favorite Taylor Swift era was.
My favorite Taylor Swift era?
Yeah.
I think it's Speak Now era. I love Speak Now. But I also am a big fan of Lover.
Ah.
I like this sickly sweet pop Taylor Swift. That's my favorite Taylor Swift. I don't like these. My least favorite one is that one where she talks about everyone being a sexy baby. Ew.
But you're a sexy baby.
I'm the monster on the hill, dude. Sorry, this oatmeal is dry today.
Leandra, do you want to do your question for
what did you
Rhodey?
think of Omaha? And do you have any stories?
I very much enjoyed Omaha. It was weird. It felt super middle America, and I assumed that it would be very Trumpy there. Like, I walked to and from the gym that day, and it was about 4 kilometers. But it was, like, wildly progressive. Like, there were, like, trans ally flags, Black Lives Matter flags, all sorts of shit. Like, I thought it was... it defied my expectation.
That's
in a way
good.
That delighted me.
Yeah, we're like Omaha and Lincoln are kind of the little blue dot in the red state.
That's good.
Yuri, you had a question about a gorilla fight. So, Cheese, this question is wild.
It's about a gorilla fight?
Okay, so the average male gorilla is about 400 pounds. And so let's say you were going to fight a gorilla and you had to win. And maybe you get like money per pound of the gorilla that you fight. But you can shrink the gorilla to the point where you're confident that you can win. How much do you need to shrink that gorilla before you think you can win? And no gorillas will be hurt.
But you get $1,000 for every... Yeah, you get $1,000 for every pound that the gorilla you fight is.
Yeah, I think I could beat about 100-pound gorilla.
100 pounds?
Yeah, 100 pounds. That's light. That's small, isn't it? Like, I understand that they're...
It's a gorilla.
But it's more powerful than a 100-pound human, but it's still just a 100-pound little fucking gorilla. I put it in a headlock and kill it so fast.
So 100, you get 100. You get how many? Is that $100,000 you win for beating a 100-pound gorilla?
I think that's reasonable.
I said half pound. A half a pound gorilla is what I could confidently beat, and I would just eat it.
Yeah, I think you know what, 100-pound gorilla probably fucking. Maybe give me like a spider monkey. Even then, I'd probably lose an eye.
I'm terrified of chimps. They're like
dude.
90, 85 pounds.
Yeah, they're like wildly strong.
Yeah, but if you actually had to fight one and win, you probably would. Like if your life depended on it.
Yeah. If my life depended on it, I would be dead.
There was that one chimp named Trevor. Remember that one that attacked his owner, the lady?
Took that lady's face right off.
Bye-bye.
I think it wore her face around for a few days as its own face. It was like, I'm a people.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. These things are deceptively strong.
Yeah.
So am I.
So, Cheese, how's tour going so far? Are you enjoying yourself?
I'm having a blast, man. I'm out here with my friends, eating oatmeal, going to the gym lots, getting ready to go to the gym right now. We're going to go to Gold's Gym, which is for big boys. Mm-hmm. We're going to get a t-shirt to remember it by.
Yeah, are you going to challenge anybody in there to a arm wrestling contest?
Yeah, if there's like 100-pound fucking gorilla in there.
Is everybody healthy?
Yeah, so far.
That's good.
I gotta say, there was some smells in Bunk Alley last night that might have implied otherwise, but they were strictly coming from my bunk, so don't worry about it.
Anybody else got questions specifically for Rhodey? I know I tried to answer questions as if I were you.
Oh, cool.
I got a lot of them right.
I have one more on my list.
Okay, Zach, hit him with it.
So hey, Rhodey. My wife wants to know if you have more solo material coming.
I don't. But
okay.
I mean, whenever I get bored, I'll write music. Whenever there isn't like protest stuff to do, I'll always make more garbage.
I will let her know there's more garbage on the way.
I'll try my best.
All the wives love the solo stuff.
That's not true. My wife doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
Come on.
Does she like the protest stuff more?
Cage doesn't like Cage likes Sabrina Carpenter and like pop music. She's not into heavy music. She likes country and western.
Oh, she doesn't like country western.
Yeah, she
likes
loves
bootleg,
country
huh?
and western. She's really into accordion music.
No.
Polka. Big polka fan.
Polka?
Yeah. We're gonna go deep into this, but are you excited to see Propaganda?
Yeah, I'm thinking about flying out to Newfoundland to see them.
Yeah.
The Rock House. That'd
Yeah.
be weird to see them at the Rock House. I bet old Johnny's stumbling to try and get them for two or
They
more
gotta
nights.
get them 2 or 3, 4 nights.
Yeah, because that Rock House will sell out. Fuck, it's probably already sold out.
Yeah.
It did. It did.
Yeah. Not surprised. I mean, they gotta add shows to that, right?
You'd think so.
Yeah.
Wish they would have hit us up. We would have done it.
All right. Anybody else got questions for Cheese before we let him go back to his exciting life on the
Woj just
road?
woke up.
Who did?
Woj.
Isn't he driving?
Sleeping on the floor. Where'd he go?
Just driving the bus.
Woj, get back in the driver's seat, dude.
He was waiting for me to go to the gym, and he fell asleep on the floor because he drove all night.
All right, buddy. Well, give everyone hugs and kisses from all of us. Thank you for hopping on and answering questions.
Gladly.
And we're gonna wrap it up. So everybody tell Cheese to eat shit and go fuck himself.
Thanks, bud.
Eat shit and go.
Eat shit and go fuck yourself.
Yeah, there you go. How often do you get to tell
guys.
Rhodey? You get to tell Rhodey that.
All right, take
All
care.
right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You can also take a picture from your
Is he she?